Ladies and gentlemen, here I would like to pronounce you a list of names. The woolly mammoth, Tasmanian tigers, passenger pigeon, and dodo bird. Familiar enough? Yes, sure you do, because they are the extinct species declared officially by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN. Well, there's many more names in this list here, and in fact about this long. But let's put this aside first, okay? I'm sure it would take days and even months to finish reading it. Hmm, well, they are extinct now, aren't they? Try guessing who did it. Us. Look at us. Deforestation, poaching, pollution, illegal trade. All for what? Money. As what they would say, money sure is the root of all evil. However, the reason I'm here was not about discussing how detrimental human activities are to animals that lead to their extinction, but I'm here to deliver some good news. So, the good news is, like a knight in shining armor, there are a fellow skillful scientists trying to put the light back on in the world of biological sciences. Can you believe it? They are gonna bring back this extinct species to life. Well, I guess the movie Jurassic Park isn't just a fantasy or and they call this method of resurrecting back the long dead extinct species as de-extinction. Facing them, isn't it? But as much as we all love to see these extinct species coming back on the surface of the planet Earth, should we really? Was it really that worth it? Aren't there gonna be any risk to that? Hello, I'm Fatin of Fatihah BINTI Adenan, an undergraduate student majoring in biology. Here's why I think the extinction might be a fruitless effort despite the noble reason behind it. So, brace up your heart, people. I'm going to deliver you some really bad news. Even if the scientists successfully revive the extinct species, the current environment on the planet of today is unconducive for the extinct species survivability. You see, after the last individual of the extinct species died off, the balance of the ecosystem back then is greatly disrupted. Some other species that live in the same ecosystem with the extinct species might also die off, and some might be lucky enough to survive. The ones that fortunately survive, well said, their body can creatively go through adaptation, allowing them to be the fittest of all in the ecosystem. This is what you call the natural selection. Not only animals can go through evolution, plants can also evolve. Therefore, I would like to stress here, after a species goes extinct, the whole ecosystem might go through changes. The extinct species' food and habitat might disappear as time goes by. And please bear in mind, lots of species that the scientists are trying to bring back already died thousands and even million years ago. So it is very clear. Lots of changes have already been made in the environment. Thus, I would like to remind you again that they would not survive with the current environment today. But wait, before you say something, of course you might be wondering, why didn't the scientists even think where they would put these animals if they would even be able to survive? Don't they already know that they can't even survive with the current environment today? Well, my dear, of course they know it from the start. That's why they already plan to carry out land management programs to put all these animals that they are trying to revive back. You might think that that would be a great idea, but hold on. Let me explain why this is not true for the time being. With the current technology today, they would only be able to produce one individual of the extinct species at a time. You said that the successfully revived species is the champion. I would say that the poor animal is the loneliest animal ever to live. Well, lonelier than single people like me, but because they don't even have any friends and no partners. Well, another question might pop out again in your mind. Sure, they are lonely, but at least the scientists take a good care of the animal, right? However, you need to remember these revived animals were wild animals back then. To be able to survive, they have to be able to first reproduce, second forage for food, and of course in the wild too. The key word here is that they need to interact with the other animals. Just like us, they are social beings too. They can also experience stress. Just think about it. You don't want ever to live and die off alone, just like that, right? Moving on to the next bad news. De-extinction might be the kickstart for the re-emergence of new diseases. The thing is, some extinct animals might carry unknown viruses or pathogens. Well, these viruses or pathogens might cause no harm or effect to them, but the effect of the viruses stay unknown to us. This is all going down back to our genetic information that differs from the other animals. The disappearance of this extinct species also wiped out those viruses from the planet Earth. With no records of these diseases, there will be no way for the scientists to tell the potential fatality of the diseases, either to various animal species or even to us ourselves humans. Viruses that re-emerge as the species revive need to go through few experiments and lab work done by the scientists to produce a vaccine. This process, as always, costs time, money, and effort. Before you want to proceed reviving the extinct species again, with the potential of waking up the old viruses from the dead, just imagine the condition that we need to endure during the COVID-19 pandemic. Do you want history to repeat itself all over again? Sure, as fancy as it seems to see the extinct species right in front of us, we need to consider our own safety and health too. Well, think about it. As much as we want them to be revived back, would you want us humans to go extinct too? Last but not least, the extinction can drive other existing endangered species towards extinction. Right now, I want you to imagine a completed puzzle. So, what do you need to do in order for the puzzle to be completed? Yeah, you need every single puzzle piece to be put and connected together in order to complete it. This is the same concept as to when the scientists want to recreate the extinct species. They need every single piece of DNA of the extinct species to be put and connected together to create a complete DNA sequences of the species they wanted to bring back. You see, DNA is the building block of organism. So, knowing the full DNA sequence is important to recreate the whole organism. Of course, they need to start from the scratch. To start, they need closely related animal species that resemble the extinct species. So let's think. If two animals resemble each other, most likely their DNA sequence is almost the same. To give you an idea of it, the scientists are trying to bring back the woolly mammoth. In order for them to achieve the success of reviving the mammoth back, they need the full DNA sequence of the mammoth. And the Asian elephant is the perfect candidate for them to find the full DNA sequence of mammals. This is because they almost look like each other, as well as their DNA sequence. In fact, almost about 99.6% of DNA is the same. However, the process requires a lot of trial and error via gene editing and also gene cloning. Since then, lots of miscarriage have occurred among the Asian elephants, And even if one hybrid of mammoth is successfully born, they will not survive for long. As a result, the Asian elephant, which is an endangered species, as noted by the IUCN, is yet another species in line to go extinct. As much as astonishing the awaited success of the extinction as a new foundation in science would be, we should have accepted the fact that it could be just a distraction from the real issue in conserving the environment. Though the extinction seems like a noble act at first, we need to realize how long animal conservation have been an issue in biological science. Until today, we still have problems keeping some of the endangered species alive. And sadly, their numbers keep on decreasing over time. We should spend more time, money, and energy in creating new technologies and finding better ways to conserve the animals. If we keep on putting our focus on the extinction while reducing our attention on conservation strategies, there is even a possibility that even common animals today will go extinct eventually. Just think about it. Could you imagine us trying to describe what an elephant should look like to our future generations? After reflecting how detrimental the effects that the extinction might put on us, as well as the animals around us, therefore, as a responsible manpower to conserve the stability of the fauna world, I request everyone to revert back our main focus to conserve existing animal species today instead of channeling our time, money, and energy to the extinction that might bear fruitless fruit. While we are busy resorting back to extinct species, more and more existing endangered species today lose their life due to the irresponsible human activities such as poaching, deforestation, and pollution. Thus, everyone should take a part in saving our species today by indulging more in conservation activities conducted by the non-governmental organization such as the World Wildlife Fund, WWF. WWF has long launched a symbolic abduction program for wildlife species, where donations are collected from the public to support science, research, and animal study. So, adopt one now at this link below and witness how much it can recover our mother nature. And that's all from me. Thank you.